Like, FYI, film white boys, Citizen Kane and Quentin Tarantino aren't the only people that exist.
Shit. I tried to say hi to your pretty blue eye, but I'm not to your view. Yeah. My friends ask me why did I spend all my time conversating about you.
Hey guys, it's Tatiana here. So, if you're watching this video, you either one of three things. A current film major wanting to be a film major. You're at a school where film majors don't exist, so you have to get a new perspective from a film major, if that makes sense. Or you're somebody that I know that just likes clicking on my videos and does that. Thank you to the 5 people. I appreciate it. Hi, Mom. Wilmington used to be known as Hollywood East before Atlanta. So movies like, was it The Notebook? It wasn't the last. One of the Nicholas Sparks movies was shot here.
Update, it turns out the movie was A Walk to Remember and Safe Haven. I looked it up. Okay, back to the video.
Conjuring was shot here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yes, I thought that was a big enough deal to put in this video. TV shows like One Tree Hill, which people will not stop talking about here. It's fine. And Dawson's Creek were shot here as well. So the film department here, in order to become a film major, you have to take the intro class, which is Film 200, which aka is everybody's hell. I'm sorry I cursed, but let's be honest, it's true. Film 200 is the intro to film studies class, and basically they make it hard so that you they can, and I quote, weed people out and choose the best of the best. And basically your grade in that class determines whether or not you get into the major. It's a slightly complicated, so I'm not getting into that, but basically you have a cutoff grade, and if your grade is above that, congrats, you made it. If your grade's below that, congrats, you did not make it. Go home. Actually, you can just reapply. Talking about my journey as a film student, I've been a film student for a full year now, so definitely qualified to do this video. But I've officially declared film major back freshman year. So the intro class for me was trash, but I got through it. Did it teach me about the technical things and looking into film? Yes. In this past semester, I got the honor to take classes like acting for the camera, which is not a class typically film majors take, but for me, it was something that I was told to take if I ever want to be a director or screenwriter, because it makes you see what the other side and what actors have to go through and how they're told and how they're taught. And I was terrible, but I really did enjoy the class, and I loved meeting new people and just discovering that side of it. And I made some new connections that that are going to be valuable to me in the upcoming years, so pretty excited about that. I also got to take intro to screenwriting, and I wrote my first ever short film. It went really well when we read it in class. I'm super excited. I'm also planning on making that my honors project if it gets approved. Yeah. Basically, when being a film major, it's broken down into 2 basic categories. You can either be a film production major, which is the actual art of making film and like editing, post-production, pre-production, writing the script, etc. Or you can be a film studies oriented person, which is basically writing about the art of film, film journalism, film archiving, you know what, just film restoration, etc. And those people are like more so like discussing the meaning behind films or the technical aspects and what this all means and how it fits into the society, etc. For my school in general, they want to make sure we know both. So we have to do a lot of film studies classes on top of our film production classes. And the film studies requirements are way more heavier than the film production requirements, just because I was told, and I went, because nobody would take the film studies classes if they weren't required, which is true. honestly true. I would probably take mostly production. There are certain film studies classes and like that I got to take an experience and really knowing what to look for in films, what to write about films, and it forces me to watch films and get inspiration for my own creative content, etc. Another thing I dislike, which is just because of my school in general, but in film in general, is just the lack of diversity. But like, that's UNCW, so like I can't really comment on that.
And
It's difficult, and it's something that I have to work through because I am a minority within the film department, and just in general at my school, there are things you have to work through. There are people that are going to think you don't know what you're doing because of your gender or even your race, and I have not had race discrimination in the film department, but there's definitely been times where my gender has played into things, and it's trash. What's the hardest obstacle I've had being a film major? Imposter syndrome, or is a psychological pattern in which an individual doubts his or her accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. I've been editing for movies and doing stupid little projects for myself and for my family for years. Stepping into it and actually doing it as a career scares the mess out of me, especially since I'm not 100% sure what I want to do when I go straight out of college, but who does most of the time? But it's more like there's so much. And for me, being a film major is like, especially here, is like going into kindergarten. You're going in with kids that are in different levels. So there's some kids that are like me, who, yeah, we may like nallygagged in high school, made some really stupid films for families. And then there's some kids who come in with like award-winning short films and already have written their first featured film and have connections, etc., etc. It's so weird. Imposter syndrome is going to be with me for a while, and I'm really starting to figure out my ground and my footing within the film department and what I want to do in general. One thing I've learned is that people see something in you that you don't see a lot of the time. So I don't know why this person saw I would be a good assistant director, but they saw something in me and decided to give me that role. So I can't get mad at it. I just have to accept it and do it as hard as I can and hope that I was decent. What's something that every person in film should have besides a camera? Honestly, it all depends on what you're doing. And like many how to start a YouTube channel videos that I've watched, you don't even need a camera. There's this movie, I think it's 16, it's either 6 rides or 16 rides. And it was completely shot on iPhone, and it's on Netflix. And it was like, in film festivals, completely shot on an iPhone. If you want to be a filmmaker, just start with what you have. Unless like you don't have any sort of a camera, then you kind of might need that. But if you want to go into editing, try playing around in iMovie first. If you want to go into sound, get a cheap microphone, play around with it. It's all just about, at the end of the day, really figuring out what you want and what you strive to do in the film industry. Being a film major is very much so different, and you find yourself thinking outside the box. If you're thinking of being a film major, take the chance and do it. There's honestly, like my mom says, a degree is a degree. I'm hoping this video actually comes out. It's gonna come out. I kind of promised myself this one will come out. I don't have any more video ideas either, so if you have any, drop some in the comments, please, so I can get on that. But honestly, this is fun. I enjoy YouTube. I'm super excited to be back, and I'm super excited to explore stuff. I have a new camera, so I kept looking at this side. I'm looking at the flip screen because for the first time I have a flip screen, which you don't understand the true struggle I had without a flip screen. And oh my god,
What, shit. I tried to say hi to your pretty blue eye, but I'm not to your view. Yeah. My friends ask me why did I spend all my time conversating about you.